My dining room slash sunroom that I like to call the atrium needed a rug under the round table. A rectangular rug felt kinda off, and a round rug felt kinda square. I was attracted to these organic, irregular shaped rugs for their natural geometric shapes, almost like crystals. But the colors weren't right for me, or the price tags. Then I had an idea.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Reissued. If you're new here, my name is Andrew. Today we're going to be creating a DIY rug out of carpet tiles that I thrifted at the Habitat for Humanity REISSUED. We are going to be cutting them apart to do some cool geometric shapes, and then I'm also going to experiment with painting or kind of dyeing with paint to get some color variation and make this kind of natural, kind of crystal prism inspired look. As always, this is a bit of an experiment. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing, but I'm going to take you along for the ride. Let's do it. So I'm creating the rug specifically for my dining area, which is in this beautiful room. We've been doing a lot of work in here lately, painting, getting the tile down, still some stuff left to go, but I'm starting to think about furnishing the room a little bit. And so with this rug, I wanted something that was gonna bring some color to the space, but also not to be super crazy and graphic because the floor is quite high contrast and graphic, right? Be sure that you're following along with my whole home makeover process. Subscribe, like, you know the drill.
My first step was to mock up a design on the computer. I rescaled one of my favorite inspiration rugs to fit the size of my space and hug the outside of my table in a more circular way. Next, I laid a grid over my design. My grid is scaled at 1 square foot per square on my grid, and will help me know how big each piece needs to be when I start cutting. My carpet tiles are 2 feet by 2 feet, so scaling it like this made sense. Then I started to draw in lines that followed the grids of my line whenever possible. I was hoping this would give me some right angles to work with and help me know where to start at least.
So I'm just sitting here on my computer trying to figure out the math of this thing. It was really important to me to have a shape that was really organic, so not something that was like really symmetrical or like repeated shapes, you know? But that also means that I'm gonna have to sort of measure out and precisely make each one of these pieces, and the carpet tiles will not necessarily be big enough to make each piece, so then there's an element of like combining multiple tiles to make one piece. So yeah, just strategizing about the best way to achieve this.
I made a few cuts to feel out the process and get things rolling, starting with a few parts of the rug that had right angles and matched up to my grid.
Y'all, I never learn. Every time I'm like, this is gonna be so easy. It'll take me a couple hours to cut all of the pieces. No way, it's gonna take me forever. Hi everybody, I'm back. I set this project aside for a while, partly because I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed and partly because the pantry makeover happened and I've been painting some wallpaper for an upcoming video in my bathroom. Yeah, now we're back to this project. I am renewed and ready to start afresh. I did enough before that I kind of feel like I know what I'm getting into this time and I can more clearly explain what I'm doing, and so let's jump in.
My strategy in the beginning was to mark the points where the edges of my cuts needed to be, flip the piece over, line up my ruler with my marks, and then cut along the ruler from the back. This worked okay despite my super dull blade. I didn't realize how dull this one was until I got a fresh one later. That definitely added to my frustration.
So my plan had been to cut everything out and then paint everything and then tape it together at the end. However, partly to keep things together so that I can know which pieces are which, and partly so that I can get cuts across pieces that are meant to sort of be one piece, if that makes sense. I'm gonna go ahead and start taping some of these pieces together with my gaffers tape.
Once I started adding more pieces and needing more complex shapes, flipping the pieces over and cutting from the backside just didn't make sense anymore.
So this is a puzzle that I literally don't know how to solve. I'm just sitting here trying to like come up with a plan and I don't have one. Most of the pieces that I had cut up till now had some sort of reference to a right angle, so I could kind of work from that. But now we're getting to the point that I need these through lines to match up, but I don't have any way of like knowing where to start in deciding what angles those lines are. So I'm gonna keep thinking on this for a bit.
So I switched to a new method that I used for the remainder of the project. I would lay out my pieces, fitting together scraps or full pieces wherever possible, then lay a long straight edge over my desired line. Then I pulled out the trusty painter's tape to tape along the line. Then I could move the piece over to my mat and cut from the front along the tape. I could have still cut along the edge of my ruler to get a straighter cut, but it was tough to hold and I was over it. I was mostly able to get pretty straight cuts along the tape, although a couple wonky cuts led to some gapping in the final rug. The puzzle with this project was kind of like Sudoku. I had to deduce which pieces I knew the angles for in order to figure out which angles I needed for other pieces to be sure that the proportions and shapes would work out, which they did more or less in the end. Perhaps I just needed a protractor to solve my problems. Maybe next time.
All right, everybody, welcome to the present day. It has been months since I've touched this project and it's been just kind of hanging around on the floor in various pieces, and I'm tired of looking at it and I'm tired of it being in pieces all over my house, and so I want to get this done this week. I mentioned in my recent walkthrough video that this was one of the projects that I had sort of like let go for a while because I had some kind of unresolved design questions that I wanted to address in order to know how to complete this. As you can see, this room is coming along quite well. I'm starting to get more of an idea of what the styling is going to be like and where certain things are going to go and what colors are going to go where. And that is going to help inform my painting process for the rug and the colors that I choose for that. I had an idea of what I want to do and I just wasn't sure it was going to work with everything else, and now I'm feeling like it's actually going to be okay. With that being said, part of the problem with my visualizing has been this table, because the table is currently green on top and it's going to be white instead. And the color of green that it is now is just really clashing with my olivey mossy green rug. And so I am going to paint that today and try to just neutralize that so that I can walk into the painting process with a really clear vision of how the colors are going to look. It also occurred to me that I kind of made a mistake with the way that I chose to do this rug. Initially, I was thinking that the sort of pattern on the rug was going to show up a lot more and that doing all of these cuts would be worth it. But now that I see it all laid out and knowing that I'm going to paint it anyway, I could have just like put the carpet tiles together and cut the general shape and then done all of the pattern with painting. Kind of like the graphic lines on my Bauhaus doormat. It would have been so much easier, but I can't go back now. I'm going to complete the one little chunk of cuts that I have left today, and then there are some bigger cuts that go across that I was going to have to make, but instead I'm just going to do this with paint. And so if you're doing this project at home, skip the cutting part, just go for the painting unless you have carpet tiles that are colored differently to begin with. I could have saved so much time. Can you move off my rug? How am I supposed to work on that? Come on. Come on, move. Can you move? So for the rug, I'm planning to use this magnolia paint that I picked up at Lowe's for $2.50. I have these rocking chairs on my front porch that I was going to paint in that same color as well, and I thought I would paint them first to make sure that I had enough paint for those before I moved on to the rug. However, the texture on this is so weird. It's kind of like oily, and I've shaken it and stirred it multiple times, and it's still kind of like separating. So I think it will actually be really good for the rug, but this is just one of those times that I like had a plan of how everything was gonna go today. I was gonna paint the chairs, I was gonna finish the rug, you know, all that, and then nothing works out the way I think it's going to. So we're gonna accept that and move on.
I ended up starting the painting process before I finished cutting to help me visualize which pieces went where. It was all looking kind of messy and unclear at this point, and I needed some direction. The weirdly semi-transparent paint ended up working really well for this project, but if you can't find expired, weird, see-through paint like this, I would recommend just watering down the paint to help it stretch, glide, and stay a bit softer when dry. Check out my painted rugs video to see me do it that way. You could also mix in a textile medium to get a similar effect and get a longer lasting finish on the fibers. Check out my Trompe-l'oeil painted clothes video to see that in action. I numbered all of the sections from 1 to 5 on my mock-up. 1 indicated which areas would be the lightest and unpainted areas, gradually working down to 5, which would be the darkest areas. I was sort of referencing this rug as inspiration. I made sure that none of the same numbers touched so that I could be sure to make every shape count. First, I started filling in all of the number 2 areas with my weird paint. A stiff old brush and a swirling motion seems best for this carpet texture. Different techniques will work better for different rug textures. I explained that more in the painted rugs video. For the lines that I didn't end up cutting, I placed my painter's tape along the line and then paint with a small detail brush right up against it. I think the paint might bleed under the tape if I just paint over it with a larger brush, and I need these lines to be super precise. Now I can finish up all the final cuts.
Alright everybody, as of this moment, all of the pieces have been cut. I was beginning to think that we'd never make it to this point, but here we are. They are cut, so I can put away all the extra scraps and crap, and we can focus just totally in on painting. I'm probably gonna stop for today, but feeling good right now.
After finishing up all of my number 2 areas, I can move on to the number 3s, which I wanted to be a touch deeper and more saturated. So I mix in some yellow and blue acrylics to achieve a slightly deeper and brighter olive green. The shade difference was incredibly subtle, perhaps a bit more subtle than I wanted, but it still worked out. Now to go deeper for the number 4 sections. I mixed in more blue and yellow as well as some black this time. I thought the color looked really good until I started painting on the rug and realized that it wasn't nearly as deep as I wanted. I needed some contrast at this point. I painted a couple sections in this color, mixed up the number 5 color, and then painted several of my number 4 sections in the number 5 color. I added tons of black this time to be sure that I got the contrast I was looking for. This final color really brought it all together for me. Not gonna lie, I was really questioning everything after the number 4 color went on.
Just finished up painting. I used up all of the paint. I was scraping it off the bottom at the end. It's a little patchier than I would like overall in some areas, but I think it's okay. I think in some ways it looks a little bit like one of those like grass turf areas with like different shadows coming on it, and like the light coming in from the windows kind of plays on that. So I'm into it. Next step is to tape things together and then maybe clean up the edges a little bit with some scissors, and then we're done. Yes, finally.
My parents came over to help me finish up the taping. This could most likely be a one-person job, but the more taping we did, the more unwieldy and awkward the pieces were to flip over. Especially once the rug was all in one piece.
Watch out, Queenie. Okay.
I finished out by clipping any stray yarns and bits of tape along the edges and moving around any pieces if necessary. Even after pushing the pieces closer together, some of my crappier cuts left some gaps when the tape is visible. I might go in with the dark paint at some point to soften the white underside of the tape that's showing, but for now, I'm so done with this rug.
Alright everybody, I just finished up the rug and I think it looks pretty good. I think it was worth all the work, but leave a comment down below, let me know what you think. If you like this video, be sure to hit the like button. If you want to see more like this, more about my home renovation, hit the subscribe button. Thanks so much for watching, I'll see you guys soon.
There's still a lot to do in this room. The double doors are going black, metal and wood shelving with a connecting bench will go on the back wall to frame the window, and lots of artwork, plants, and accessories will be added to make the room feel rich and lived in. I was also planning to recover the vintage dining chairs, but now that the table is white, they don't look so bad. Let me know in the comments if you think they need a facelift too.
cut the rug. Queenie, can you move? Queenie? Queenie, can you move?